Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on my 2006 Yamaha V-Star 1100. The bike's getting ready to sell, so I'm, sorting out some odds and ends. There's been an oil leak on the front side of the cylinder. I believe it's just the cylinder cover. There's a gasket there that I think it's just dried out over time, and in turn the oil drips down onto the exhaust and burns off as the bike's, idling. I'm going to show you guys how to get that apart. It's super quick, and I'm going to swap out that gasket, and hopefully that should fix our problem at idle. They don't actually go in circular. They're kind of like shaped in weird ways, but you kind of have to mold them to get them in the right place. But this is all we're swapping out. So in all the official diagrams from Yamaha, this is just called the cylinder cover, the cylinder head cover, I think. There's just two bolts that hold it on, so I've already pulled those. So this piece just comes out. It's a little bowl, that covers up what you can see there. I'm going to go ahead and get this old gasket out and shape in one of my new gaskets, and we'll get it back together, and hopefully we can idle the bike without smoking oil off the exhaust. So what I'm going to do here is just take a X-Acto knife and just put it right in there and pull that gasket, just pry it free. There we go. All right. So pull that gasket out. As you can see, it's similar to the new one. And I'm just going to take a little bit of oil from inside of there and put that onto this gasket. All right. To me, that feels like it's got a good coating of oil. No particulate matter on there that I can feel. So we go ahead and get this popped in. It's pretty good. So before it was sort of flush. Now you can see, we have a little bit of a lip, which means when we, put it all back together, it should seat pretty well. So we're gonna get this back on, get the exhaust cleaned off, and get this bike idling and see if this didn't solve our problem. All right, so with getting this back on, I'm going to first put in this top left, I think. There we go. And this bottom right. I'm just using a little wrench from Icon. That's where the set's from. I got it at Harbor Freight. It's a kit that has, all the essentials that you would need for, working with this small stuff. But I'm using their locking head adjustable socket or ratchet, excuse me, to put this back on. Make sure we've got this set to tighten. Don't want to go quite all the way yet until we get this other one started. Now I'm doing Conrad foot-pounds, which is just where you tighten it until it feels tight, and then that's good enough. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a rag, get in here, wipe off all the oil that I spilled that will inevitably burn off when I start the bike. Let it sit here and idle for a bit and see if this was our issue exclusively, or if we will have to take off the head covers and get to the head cover gaskets. I think they're the same size as the ones that I purchased for that. So that's another common culprit. And then there's another gasket down here that sometimes causes problems. So hopefully that was the issue, but we're gonna go ahead and get the bike started and see if that does it. I figure it'll probably take about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes for it to start smoking. If I fix the issue, we won't see any, but it had, you know, been smoking off of here. Which is right below that cover, so I'll check back here in a couple of minutes and I'll let you know if that fixed my issue. So when I originally started the bike up and the engine had the chance to warm up, exhaust, etc., there was billowing smoke coming off of it. But I think that's just because I spilled some oil out of that cover onto the exhaust when I was taking it apart. So having given it a chance to burn off any residual oil, I'm not seeing any new oil leaking, which is really promising. I'll just say, if this does not solve your issue, if you notice smoke, you know, coming out of this exhaust area, a lot of it I saw right here on this flange, on this V-band, and you know, obviously that's right below this, so that's an obvious culprit. But the alternative is out of your valve cover gasket, and to pull that, I think, you know, there are probably videos available online, but there's 2 bolts here, 2 here. You pull off this hose, and then there's an O-ring in there that can be replaced. Sometimes that will leak down. Also down here, as I mentioned, ooh, just burnt my finger bad. Yikes. Well, this bike, if it starts smoking now, it's just my skin, so don't worry about that to the next owner. But there is another sort of cover here down here. There's a little gasket that sometimes needs replaced, but as of right now, it's looking like our issue's been solved. So the bike cranks up, starts, runs, rides. You know, it's not leaking anymore, so it's going to be a really great bike for someone. So I'm going to be sad to see it go.